Go for it.
Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson, I'm the host of this podcast that's mine, going to be called History is Nice. History is Day with Strider Wilson.
Friggin' what up, dude? Welcome back to History is Dank. I'm your host, Strider Wilson. We got Aaron going beast mode on the sticks, dude. What up, Aaron, dude?
What up?
Dude, just post it up, dude. We're coming back after taking a little 4th of July week off, dude. Posting this puppy. Hopefully you guys had fun. We're safe. Hopefully all your fingers are there so you can still enter the drill factory with relative ease, dude. Didn't blow your hand off with a friggin' M80, dude. Dude, just some huge stuff, dude. Going down, dude. Got to say, fired up. My boy Clay Thompson, dude. Speaking of historic, the Splash Bros, what they did in the Bay Area, dude, the dynasty that they created, dude. You know, the empire that they built, dude, just raining down threes, dude. Just fucking reigning like kings, dude. Bringing in rings. Now Clay's going to Dallas. Look, I think Dallas kind of a city of dorks. Never really liked their teams. I mean, of course, I respect the Cowboys, the Mavs. I did love Dirk, actually. I got to say, I did like Dirk. And, you know, now Luka's a beast. I think that team's going to be sick. I think Clay's going to fit in, dude. And it just makes me happy that the Celtics, there's no chance they're going back-to-back, dude. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. They're not, dude. They skated through the playoffs. They have talent. They're a well-balanced team, dude. But guess what? That's a snooze fest. This finals, snooze fest. All right? Clay's getting another ring. Fired up for him on that, dude. Also stoked and honored. I don't know if you're on the internet, but I do this stand-up bit, and it's coming out in the special, so keep your eyes peeled for that. The special's going to drop. Not exactly sure when. That's why I'm not saying a date, but it's going to drop. And in that, and then before that, I talked about how I love to raw dog my thoughts during flights. I just like to post up, think, dude. You know, planes are a great place. It's an opportunity, dude. You know, so there's so much distraction when we're on the ground, dude, with phone calls, Wi-Fi, and you know, if I'm in a plane, sure, I can subscribe to that stuff, but I'm at 30,000 feet. The thing could go down. It's a great time to think and make decisions, dude, with high stakes. Okay, and I crush that map channel to get in the zone. I like to see that progress. Very nice, good, and I just have thoughts, dude, and I decide stuff when I'm up there. And dude, this took off. I don't know. Maybe someone saw like a trend or whatever, saw a bit, and some dudes are just, it's really resonating with bros in altitude, so it's great, dude. Dudes are thinking. They're not, dude, I like maybe inadvertently inspired this, you know, movement at 30K feet with bros of just freaking getting dialed in, crushing that map channel, dude, and making decisions, so it's good, you know, and of course, you know, everyone, I'm getting a lot of DMs. It's awesome, dude. Praise, which is sick, dude. Thank you so much, dude. All I did was just try. I didn't decide this, dude. Just sometimes things happen, dude. Take a life of their own. So it's so sick to see that happen. And, you know, Putty back in the day from Seinfeld, people are sending me that. I love it, dude. Dude was a beast. Love that guy. Just like to sit and chill. You know, he didn't have Map Channel in the 90s, but I'm sure he was, you know, maybe he pulled out I don't know if he pulled. I didn't really watch Seinfeld. I was too young for it. And I hated the bass, but it made me mad. My siblings would watch that. I was like, dude, let's just put on Saved by the Bell while we're watching this. Come on. But maybe he pulled out an old map, dude, you know, pretty sick. So pretty fired up on that, dude. Just stoked on that trending now, dude. So didn't even mean to coin it, dude. And so when the special comes out, it's chock full of shit like that, dude. So buckle up for them hashtags, dude, coming your way, bro. So fired up, dude, and honored and stoked that bros are getting dialed in, making choices. And hopefully when they touch down to the ground, they go, you know what? I'm going to do things a little bit different. Or maybe, hey, they're going to say, you know, I'm doing it just right. I'm going to maintain. So stoked on that, dude. Have you seen that trend, Aaron?
I saw it on your social media.
Yeah, dude. Putting out CNN was covering, dude. People, dude. GQ, dude. Sick.
Sometimes I'll do that when it's like at the end, like I finished a movie and I have like 45 minutes left of the flight. It's like, well, I'll just check out the flight
That's nice.
the flight page and just kind of stare off into nothing.
It's a great move.
Why start something new?
Exactly. I'm not going to dive in, get halfway through. And it's Delta, I got to say. And I'm a connoisseur of map channels. Delta's is the best. You can switch to horizon mode. Also, when you are in standard map channel mode, you can click in the upper right corner and they'll give you sick-ass info and facts about towns that you're flying over. And not just the big towns like freaking Flagstaff if you're going by the Grand Canyon, but places like Henderson, places even smaller than Henderson, places like, Duke's Pass. What is that? It was a chariot. Apparently it was a stable house used by, ranchers in the 1800s. I don't know. Sick stuff, dude. So not only I can get dialed in learning while I'm in altitude, figuring things out, getting dialed. So sick, dude. Being a savage, not blinking. Just breathing like this. Pretty nice. All right, dude. Let's dive into today's episode. I was staying in San Diego, crushing shows with my boys, Chad and JT. What up, dude? American Comedy Co. was so sick. And when I stayed down there, I stayed at my bro-in-law's house, and he's got a sick-ass... This guy's got coffee tables, dude. This is a good coffee table guy. And he's got the sickest-ass coffee table with a book on there. It's about, like, different mythologies and legends from different cultures all over the world. And I like to look at that thing, dude. I like to crush a tall boy and just look at that thing. There's good illustrations. When I read, I love stuff that... I've said this, if it doesn't pop up, if it doesn't smell good, and it doesn't have an interesting surface I can feel, I'm pretty much out on that book. And this one's got illustrations, so I was in. And I discovered an Aboriginal god. We're talking Australia here, okay? And it is known as the Greedy Lumaluma, okay? That's what we're talking about now. Pretty wild story here. And now before we dive into it, I want to just talk a little bit about myth, legend. Why do these things exist? Why do we have... And here's the thing, if you're an Aboriginal, it would be probably offensive, I don't know, of me to say, oh, this is just a myth. What your belief, your religion, that's not right. Mine has to be correct. Wars start over shit like that. I ain't saying that. I'm just talking about mythologies, these pantheons of different cultures, of course, the famous ones, Greek, Hindus, of course, different, and there's different ones all over the world. Pick up this book, dude. Always check the sources from episodes. You can find out exactly what book it is. But across cultures all over the frickin' globe, dude, mythology's played a significant role, okay, in ancient cultures and today. The way it affects not just, storytelling or media. Today I'm going to be telling you a story, so it still is very much alive if you believe in the power of story. And what is myth and religion and depending who you are and what your belief system is. And legend, why do these things exist? What roles do they play? Well, first, an important one, and this ties directly into the story we're telling today with Lumaluma. It explains natural phenomena. Okay, it's a way that elders in a tribal society, even in an empire or a grander civilization, they think about the Aztecs, Mayas, the way they can explain natural phenomena, like a freaking eclipse, dude. If you've ever seen that sick-ass movie Apocalypto, which, by the way, rewatch that. That's one of the sickest. That's a great movie, period. But also, that's a great movie on a plane. There's airplane movies, like Sahara with my boy McConaughey and Steve Zahn. I ain't watching that movie unless I'm in altitude. There's just some movies. Some rom-coms there's movies that just aren't that good if I can just get up and go do something else. But if I'm in a plane, I want like a National Treasure, probably the creme de la creme of airplane movies. Fun story, pretty invested, kind of light, pick up a few facts. He's also using maps, which I like to crush the map channel, so that's big for me. It's probably the creme de la creme of airplane movies. It's either that or The Postman Always Rings Twice. Just watch that freaking finger blasting scene on repeat. I haven't said finger blasting in a while. It just felt nice to do it. It's great to do. In any case, There ain't no legend about that, bro. That's a real deal. Myths, legends, they explain natural phenomena in nature, changing of seasons, risings of settings of sun. The moon, dude, you look at the moon, why? Dude, some kid asked, Dad, well, why the moon? Well, dude, fucking shut up, sit down, dude, sit by this fire. Let me tell you, bro. Well, there's this God, and he does this, and he moves, and it's changing. And then there also is some stuff in the mood. The shadow moves and creates, you know? All right? You have these interesting stories, and people will remember it, and they'll respect it. And your kid won't just flick the moon off every single day. He'll be like, no, dude, you have to respect that moon, dude. It's also a way of saying why we have seasons. Well, dude, when it gets farther away, the God might be more upset than it's cold. So we must, come together in our whatever lodging or fucking structure that we live in. Come together, keep each other warm, bond, share good stories with that love and that creation. Then will come spring, It's sick. That leads me to the next thing, is creates moral codes. You have these myths, there's stories that teach things. What we're getting into is a story called Greedy Lumaluma. Okay, this is going to teach you not to bogart stuff, dude. And some of these tales, they're pretty harsh, dude. But they're good. You have tons of stories with moral codes and myths all throughout, You got freaking Hindu epics, dude. You freaking Greek gods, dude. You can't have hubris, right? You have these things that come in there. You can't think you're too good, you're too cool for school. Of course, religious beliefs, right? Worship, bringing people together, sense of community, right? Think about Egyptians, dude. Osiris inspired some of the sickest skate shoes out there. Okay? And it's the important, why do look at mummies? Weird. Whoa. Why? Well, let's dive into some religion, some myth, some legend here. Osiris, okay, preserve. The Egyptian religion, Khufu, had a grand sense of afterlife. Okay? Safe passage into the afterlife. Preserve it. And last and definitely not least, perhaps even most important, like I mentioned, I kind of led with this, but art culture. You got Egyptian obelisks, fat freaking phallic shapes with sick ass paintings and carvings on them, and calligraphy, or hieroglyphics. And we have what we're going to talk about with these Aboriginal. You have bark paintings. Okay, that's where they learn some of these myths and exactly how freaking smart ass dudes post up and ladies post up. Scientists, dude, archaeologists, fucking geologists, dude, probably a dermatologist telling people to put sunscreen on the whole time. Out there just saying, hey, what's going on with this painting? Let's interpret this shit, dude. And you would speak translators, dude, linguists, dude, posting up, dude, group effort. Let's talk to these Aboriginals, dude. Let's decide what's going on. Okay? So it's huge. Moral code, religion, creation. Where do we come from? Also just natural phenomena. It's why we have these things. Now, and they're clutch for explaining them, dude, and creative. And then they're not fun, too, dude. You know what I mean? Some of them could be very harsh, very human. It's funny for these myths and these things that are fantastic. Also, very, very human at their core. This story today of Greedy Lumaluma comes from I'm going to butcher the name of this Aboriginal group, the Gunwigu, Gunwinggu people, right? And a little bit on our Aboriginals in Australia. There's about 500 different Aboriginal peoples in Australia, each with their own language and territory, large numbers of separate clans. Archaeologists believe, that's a freaking ologist that I forgot to say, dude, believe that Aboriginals first came to Australia and the continent around 45,000 years ago. They had to go beast mode on the mega fauna back then, dude. Take out those ground sloths, shit. Aboriginals themselves, they trace their creation back to dream time. And that's what this story comes from. This story comes from what's called the dream time. It's an era long past when the earth was first formed, okay? And according to an Aboriginal man, he's unnamed in this article, he explains the dream time as thus. By dreaming, we mean that belief that long ago these creatures started human society. They made all natural things and put them in a special place. These dreaming creatures were connected to special places and special roads or tracks or paths. In many places, the great creatures changed themselves into sites where the spirits stayed. So, and now today, even shamans, dude, they believe that if you freaking inhale the right substance, what up? You can communicate with these creatures from the dream time who still inhabit. In these places, he means mountains, rivers, bays. There's gods in each of them. Okay? So, today's story of Greedy Lumaluma. Okay? Apparently what happens, dude, is Lumaluma is posted up, dude. He's a whale swimming around, chilling, dude. Okay? Posting up in a bay. And then there's these two ladies that always come out to the bay, fish, whatever, chill, dude. And they kind of connect and become friends. And they become good friends, dude. And I think with Lumaluma at one point, and the ladies as well, they're like, we could become friends with Benny's. He transforms into a human. Still is gigantic, a gigantic human though. Big dude. But takes human form. So transmutates from whale form to human form, becomes more friends with his ladies. There's a good courting period. Eventually, they get married. They bone. Very chill. Okay, what up? And Lumalumu's goal in this is not just, for love. He loves all the people. He wants to teach them rituals of how to properly praise the gods so that then they can, be given the gifts of the gods, and the gods will be pleased and life will be good. One of the things he teaches in these rituals and practices to praise the gods is that it has to be done inside. So Lumaluma is responsible for teaching hut building. He's sick at building huts. He's basically a good contractor. And he's teaching different, tribes he's traveling around, teaching them how to build huts and how to worship from within them. Okay? And it's going well, dude. And it's sick and it's all good times. And then eventually he gets a little greedy, because part of in these rituals, there's foods and feasts. Like I mentioned, dude, this guy was a whale. He's got a whale of an appetite, and he's big. And he starts going, you know what? That food, that's sacred. Get away. That's going to be mine now. And people are like, okay, he is a god. Like, he's teaching us these things. He's a great man. He's also gigantic, jacked. Okay, cool. And, he'll leave a little scraps for everyone else, but he's taking all the good-ass feast food and just eating it all. And then there's different variations and versions of these stories. One of them, he gets so greedy where he's like, he starts eating kids. And you're like, whoa, that's gnarly. That took a turn. That wasn't in this coffee table book. So it's maybe more the PG version of the story. But I bring you the real deal. This is raw. Okay? That's the last straw. So not only are the people starving because Lumaluma is so greedy, bogarting all the food, saying it's sacred, no one else can touch it. And these people, they are obeying that. They're not stealing it. But then Lumalumu's going to eat a kid? No thanks, dude. So a few of these Aboriginal tribes, they band together. They get their spears, and this is what's depicted on one of the bark paintings, which a lot was destroyed by, the British when Australia was colonized, and, similar to what happened to the Americas. So that's a tragic story, which must be mentioned. So a lot of this history, and it's oral traditions, and we know you play the telephone games, things get changed. Art is a little, in depending on what surface and medium it is, it can last through the ages, but a lot of it was burnt and destroyed. It's bad, but some of them still exist. And so I say specifically spears and stuff because that's what's depicted here, and it lets us know these warriors were hunters, and a lot of these Aboriginals did use spears. So that's tight. And they fucking attack him, dude. Okay? And they murk his ass, almost murk him to death. But since he's still a god, they tie him up to a tree. Like, dude, stop eating the food. Dude, stop. They tie him to a tree, and then they build a hut around him. So they use what they taught because they still know he needs to be inside, and that's where praise needs to happen. So they're still respecting him, even though he's been bogarting. And they do kill his wives, unfortunately. That's in one of the harder, more R-rated stories. Sorry, I had to share that detail too. Got to give you the facts, dude. Okay? The facts of the myth. Interesting. There's that oxymoronic or not. Depends what you believe. I don't know. In any case, both his wives murked. But since he's a god, they stab him. They basically incapacitate him. And then they bring him to the waterfront, and they throw him back in the water, and he takes the form of a whale again. And they didn't also want to kill him because he was also saying, when they had him surrounded, like, I still have to teach you more. I still have to teach you. They're like, fine, you teach us. Teach us the rituals. Teach us, but don't eat stuff too much. Eat normal amount. And so basically, he goes back in there, and it's all good. And this is that's his story. There's a pantheon of Aboriginal gods that have a lot of creative, interesting stories, and they're amazing. And this basically tells and it teaches, young kids or people, like, look, we share here. When it comes to festival food, it's not all for someone. It's not for, like, the chief. Gods are even bigger than the chief. It's not for the leader. It's not for the biggest, strongest dude. We share. And if the biggest, strongest dude does do too much, there's a line that you're going to cross and we're going to murk you. And this is a great way of telling that story, better than being like, dude, there was this one guy named Darren one time who was eating stuff, and so we had to put him in the water. You know? He's building huts and shit. He was pretty tall. We had to get rid of him. Okay? It's a sick-ass story, dude. Sacred rituals come out of it. No one wants to learn how to do rituals. You get to bow, light the incense, do this, genuflect, move out, wear your robe, take your robe off. You have to paint these, this is why we have certain tattoos. And it is true, there are certain tattoos, and that is a form of art that lasts through the ages as well, as body art, ink, right? Bark painting is one that I mentioned already. Another one is, because it shows, they also say that in one of the stories, this is, I think, Mardian. I think he's an artist. And he talks about the dotted lines that can be interpreted, dotted lines in tattoos and in also bark paintings, but can be interpreted to represent body parts of the dancers, such as their backbones and ribs. At another level, they can represent features such as water holes, water courses, rocky cliffs. But in a spiritual sense, the dancers understand that their own body derives existence from Lumaluma's original creativity. So he's a creator god. And tattoos in certain order mean certain things. And it probably dates back to the path Lumaluma took, teaching his rituals, but then also maybe they say that, like, they were cut body parts. This is the R-rated version, and leave them in certain areas, part of Lumaluma's human body, before they put the rest of his body into the water to become a whale again. And in those areas, those are now sacred places, mountains, water holes, right, that we mentioned, where rituals can be then performed. Right, a lot of these tattoos appear as, to the untrained eye, as rhythmic bands or cross hatchings, but it's understood as emanations of ancestral power among Aboriginals. So it's legit. Tattoo has meaning, dude. These aren't just some butterfly wing tramp stamps, which I honestly have to say, it does have a spiritual meaning for me too. Saw a lot of those back in my boys' trips days down in the Mango Deck in Cabo. You see that? Look, dude, back in the day with the boys, we'd send out SEAL Team 3, the best looking dudes. They'd come back with a group of ladies, a couple of them rocking butterfly tramp stamps. You'd go up, opening line would be, what part of Arizona are you from? They go, how'd you know? You go, looks like that caterpillar found its wings. She goes, what? You go, huh? Buy you freaking tequila. Before you know it, you're down in the caterpillar from that tequila bottle. It's a beautiful thing, dude. entering a push-up contest. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. My wife and I had a dank push-up contest on the Mango deck. It's more of a plank hold contest. She crushed me, dude. She got great upper body strength, good core strength. Legit. I was hot in the sun. Gave out. It's a beautiful thing, dude. So sick-ass episode, dude. Before we get out of here, I do want to end with a cue. This guy sent me a great cue. Got to find it in the freaking email here, dude. I've been getting so many emails, dude. All I do is wake up and delete about 1 billion emails from things that I've used to subscribe to. Like, get out. Verizon, dude. Okay. No, this is Delos. And yeah, I don't know if I shared this yet. No. I want to talk about. This guy's got a sick one. Sorry. Oh, here we go. No. I might not find it. Aaron, this could be bad.
I mean, I'm here for the. This is it. No.
Dude, what'd you say you're here for? What?
I'm here for you going. Oh, this was it. This was sick.
Dude, yeah, exactly, dude. Here it is, dude. Small dongs in history. This is a beautiful email, dude. Dude, Ryan sent this, dude. So he goes, "What up, Strider, aka Emperor of the Small Dong Dynasty?" Thank you, dude. Honor, dude. A good emperor delegates, dude. Glad to delegate to dudes with small dongs everywhere. When we band together, we create one massive hog. He goes, "And what's up, Aaron, as well?" Hell yeah.
What up?
He's got a cue. "I've wondered since listening to your show, fire show, by the way, thank you, dude, who are some of history's dudes who accomplished the most while owning the smallest dongs? I know Lincoln and Genghis had hammercocks, but old Winston Churchill, did he rock a pinky for a winky? Did Napoleon's height impact his girth? Love to hear your thoughts." Calls himself V-Man. Love that. Yeah, dude. I think having a small, tiny little penis, they say necessity is the mother of invention or action. I think it leads you to create other skills. You need to have other skills. You know what I mean? If you've got a fat hog, you're going to sit back. You don't necessarily need to run the most game. You can be like, because you're packing heat and it's going to be fine. Of course, you still have to woo ladies. But if you've got a little penis, dudes are going to see that. A lot of times dudes are the ones who mock you most. So you're going to be out there to prove yourself to someone. So I would be, and I've read this about the Greeks, and you look at those statues. The Greek ideal hog was a small, skinnier one, maybe a long, skinny one too, but a nice skinny one, because the Greeks they were bisexual, a lot of them. So I would not be surprised to find out if Alexander the Great, perhaps the greatest conqueror of all, had a very, very tiny little dink. I think so. You go, what drives this man? Why is he craving more? Genghis Khan, maybe he did have a fat hog. Maybe he probably had a falcon that could perch on it. So maybe he had a fat hog. I would say some Ramses, the pharaoh, maybe he got that name because he was jackhammering, ramming. He probably was into that. So maybe he had a fat hog, hammercock, a lot of construction going on there. So who probably had a tiny little dink, more modern? Got to think George Washington had a big one. British rulers probably all had small dinks. Sorry to say, but 4th of July just happened, so I kind of have it out for the British right now. And also I think a small dink is a good thing. So sorry. Maybe that's complimentary coming from me, but from the the classic standard male gaze that we're subscribed to in society, that would be interpreted as an insult. Let's see.
Cyrus the Virus, tiny dink.
Definitely Cyrus the Virus, tiny dink. Tiny dink for sure. You've proven yourself to be a worthwhile specimen. I love the way John Malkovich talks. His enunciation is brilliant. He really savors every syllable. Let's see, what's a good one? What's a definite small hog leader, dude?
I mean, they say Hitler.
Oh, for sure, dude. For sure. Also, yeah, small stature, small hog. But some of the dudes of the smallest stature have the fattest hogs I've seen. Baby arm hogs, dude. holding an apple, quoting my boy Mike Myers. Yeah. I got to think more on this. Come back maybe next ep, some fire answers. Any case, great question, dude. Great question, bro. That's the type of stuff I want to be written in. It gets my mind spinning. I'm gonna raw log a flight and think about that. So until then, stay stoked, stay safe. We'll catch you Dankatorians on the next one, dude. Lit.